Hey, what's going on? Ninja Fried Chicken here. Welcome back to Film Room. We're trying a new format. Please let me know how you like it. We're on, is it called Dragon Trail? As you can see, I'm starting 10th. At the beginning of this particular week, I believe I ran, I don't know what I ran. I don't remember what my lap times were, but I do know that it wasn't my best. I maybe ran just a few laps. Anyways, here we go. Lap 1. Decent start. I mean, it's a rolling start, so I don't really think you can mess up the start. But as you see, that came in, passes the Ferrari pretty quickly. After this little S section, I find out that I'm probably faster than this Ferrari. Even though these sections, I just feel like we shouldn't be going this slow. As you see, I'm already on this Ferrari's bumper. There's a little bit of traffic building up. You see the Alpha bump me, but I happen to get through the turn. RCF was trying to fight its way past also, but that Ferrari caused some big traffic pretty early on. I wanted to make sure I passed the Ferrari, so I didn't get too far behind the pack ahead. Because I know sometimes those packs can run away from you, and then the whole race, you just never see them again. Also, that last section was my favorite section, probably the rhythm section. I don't know what this term is called. I'm going to call it the yacht corner. This was one of the most difficult corners for me to get right. Although I do not have much practice with this corner. And here, this little chicane, is this the dragon? Is this the tail of the dragon? This little chicane? I think that might have been my favorite part of the course. But this first lap here is really just me trying to pull away from the slower pack and trying to catch up to the pack ahead of me. And so I think this is where the race really begins for me. This is going to be lap number 2. That came in immediately is in front of me. And this lap, I am just focused on running good times, racing my race, obviously trying to run faster times, and catch up to that came in. Because I got some places to pass. I do feel that I'm better than 9th place of this particular field. I guess I need to learn the names of all these turns. And I don't know if you can tell by this angle, but I am catching up to the pack ahead of me, especially this section right here. After this left-hander, oh yeah, the Citroen spins out. Let's go on back on board with the Citroen and see what happens first. So the Citroen looks like they're in 3rd place. They bumped the other Cayman that was 2nd place in front. That caused the Citroen to slow down, caused a little bit of traffic. You see that Corvette, that DQ Corvette, we'll see a little bit later. That one Cayman is there. They get ready for that left-hander. And it looks like the Cayman tries to dive in. And the Citroen gets the short end of the stick there. The car goes through and you see me pass through. Free position for me. And you saw that little flash of that Corvette there. I don't know what happened to them, but we'll see them later. So now we're in 7th position, coming up to yacht corner. Only the 2nd lap. Honestly, I'm feeling like so far so good. I do understand in these lower elos, it's more of staying out of trouble. If you don't spin out, if you don't crash, you're guaranteed to make up some spots. And after this chicane here, I do see smoke. And by the end of this straight, I start passing the Alpha. Although we're trying to investigate what the smoke was, on board with the Cayman through the chicane. It's like the Alpha and the Ferrari getting a little tussle. And then to boot, the Cayman punts the Alpha Oh, you see a little bit of ghosting there? That's interesting. I don't love the ghosting in this game. I don't understand how the ghosting algorithm works or whatever. But by the end of this straight, you're going to see the Ferrari and my NSX kind of split them. I'm now in 5th position going through the last turn. That Alpha got 6th position back. We're gonna hit this straight. We're gonna go for this is lap 3. I believe this is this is lap 3. So we're going for lap 3. This Alpha at the beginning of this particular lap, I remember thinking that I can outpace this Alpha. I would still say I'm still learning the track, and this Alpha is. I can't tell if they're faster than me or they drive more wild than I do. But you can see the Alpha trying to find a way around, poking his nose in. I get a little bump right there, and then I get ghosted. And this is what I'm talking about. For me personally, I think I would prefer to not ghost and take the bump. Although I understand why they lean more on the ghosting side. Just because of other drivers that aren't good, that have bad sportsmanlike conduct. But I think some drivers drive to the advantage of the ghosting and kind of bully their way through, like that Alpha did. So we're coming up to Yacht Corner. The Ferrari and the Alpha are not done. You see the Cayman over there in the wall? I phased through the Cayman. I'm back in 5th place, but I think it was a fair ghost this time because they were stuck and in the way. So we'll check out what happened from the Alpha's perspective, following them. You see that line like dipping the dirt, kind of all over the place? I don't think that's an internet connection. I think that's their driving style. But they lost speed from that. And the Ferrari looks like they were breaking the straight line to me. It looks like a racing incident, I'd say. I bet you that Alpha wasn't happy about that. And then we go back on board with me to my favorite part, the chicane. Or the dragon tail. Either way, my goal here is to carry enough speed to pass this Ferrari as we take a look at the inside view. And I would say that was a success. A little rough right there, but pretty smooth. And I was so proud of it. I'm going to show it again. Here's the end of Yacht Corner. Going to the chicane dragon tail. I don't know what to call it. I just came so close to those walls, but didn't hit them. All the way around. Yeah, go me. Good racing, I'd say. So now we're in 4th position. And it's been a good few laps. Here we are, last turn before the next lap. At this point, by the end of lap 3, I'm feeling pretty confident. I think I'm going places. So we begin lap 4. This lap, I don't exactly remember what happens this lap. I don't remember if I get it into it with a Ferrari or not. That line part there in particular, didn't love. You can see that Cayman looks like it has some pretty good speed and momentum coming out of there. After this right-hander is kind of the beginning of the section that I like. So I guess this whole back half of the course I'm pretty into besides the last turn. But the rhythmic S's is where I felt confident I was going to pull away and gain some ground and gain some distance, I mean. And I do see the distance growing. I would say mission slightly accomplished here. Every time we got to Yacht Corner, I would get a little nervous because, as you'll see over and over, I miss the apex. I can't hit these turns. That was just a bad racing life, and I'm losing so much time in that particular corner. At some point, the Citroen passed the Cayman, going back to the trail, carrying all my speed. The Ferrari, I think, kisses the wall and gives me a little bit more distance. So this whole lap 4, I was able to hold 4th place. Pretty proud of that. This last corner, ugly. Don't look at it. Close your eyes. I don't know. Obviously, more lap time would help, but lap 5. Let's do it. At this point, we've broken out into a little trio group. So this is essentially the battle for fourth going on here. I don't remember. Oh my goodness. And there's the ghosting I'm talking about. Even if it was because I was going too slow, I don't think that was worth me ghosting there. And the Ferrari maybe would have hit me, but I think they're playing for ghosting. He ghosted right through me, phased through me for the position. Not a fan of that, but here we are. 5th place. Ferrari gained some ground. I was a little tilted by the phasing, just because I think you shouldn't think you should be able to do that. But through this with him section, I do make up the time again. Right back on the Ferrari, coming up to enemy corner number 1, yacht corner. I promise I'll learn the name someday. I think the Ferrari, the number 4 car, overslowed there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they overslowed. The Citroen's on my butt, but I'm not too concerned about the Citroen. I felt like I had better pace overall. Through the S's, looking beautiful. Citroen kisses the wall. I use my momentum to go around the Ferrari, and I think I bumped him a little bit when I went to take his place, but back and forth. And something about racing when you pass somebody, it really does something to your ego, because my head's pretty big here. I'm thinking these guys are not on my level. We're entering lap 6. I'm thinking ahead. Citroen's on my butt. Had a good must have had a good straight or good exit on the last turn, maybe. Through this S section here, I'm holding steady again. A good amount of people use that flashing light strategy. I don't think I have those keys binding. I think it would be fun to flash my lights, but I don't find it distracting. Maintaining my position through here. Once again, I'm ready to pull away and gain some distance. I just want to really buy time here so that when we get to yacht corner, there's not enough of a challenge and I can stretch my lead a little bit again from the chicane. But I'm hoping they're back there, they fight, they get each other out of shape, give me some more room. But we're a tight little pod right now. Here we go, yacht corner. Oh yeah, this is where I go super wide. And as someone who is a safer driver and drives the right way, I stayed wide, I let them pass. I figure I'll get it back, right back on this dragon tail chicane thing. And oh, this was that lap. Okay. And I ruined it for myself. And you know, that's what I get for having a big head. This race honestly was going a little too well. And yeah, so there's the number 7 Ferrari. Number 7 Ferrari is gaining on me now. At this point, I figure I'll take my mandatory pit stop, kind of collect myself, take a breather. This will be the beginning of lap 7. But while I'm in the pit, let me reiterate that I don't like the way the ghosting works in this game. I don't know if you're able to report things and have like a steward situation, or if Polyphony will accept, you know, suggestions. But I'm not a fan of it. Even though and then leaving the pit, I realized I got a 3-second penalty. It must have been from clipping the line on the way into the pit. So at this point, I'm like, great. I can't have any more mistakes. I got to just race my race. I got to get a good amount of momentum. I'm going to have to serve this 3-second penalty during a straight, which is going to be not awesome. But it's okay. I have my eyes set on this RCF. I'm ready to go through this S section. I'm ready to gain ground and maybe even pass this RCF in the same lap. I didn't see much of this RCF during this race though, so I don't remember how they drove. However, it's that corner. Let's see how I did this time. And missed the apex. Yeah, that's just ugly. I know it's not great, guys. Get through the dragon tail chicane part. Keep in mind, oh, this is where I lost a little bit of traction and hit the wall. Just in time to serve that stupid 3-second penalty. And these last 2 laps really hurt my feelings. The Dairy Queen, number 9 Corvette's passing me. This Ferrari is going to be on the inside of the last turn. And Dominator here. I think the 3 of us are who finished the race together, if I remember right. But we're neck and neck going into lap 8. With the Ferrari not far behind, but a lot of this is myself and this Dominator in a... Is that a Renault? A Peugeot? Something EU. I don't drive any EU cars. But I would say we were about equal pace coming through this section. I wasn't great at that turn. Also, I wasn't awful. But as you can tell, I didn't use enough of the track, so I could have went faster. Into one of my top 2 sections of the track. The rhythmic S's. Have a little bit of a gap again. Just in time for my least favorite corner. YC. Owning a yacht is crazy, by the way. A house on the water. Like, the idea of the ocean is... You know how deep the ocean is? Do you want to be stranded in the middle of nowhere without land? No, thank you. Anyways, going through the chicane. I think I get a little bit of a gap here. Yeah. I took the chicane a little bit more cautiously, just because of how my previous 2 laps went, and I refused to have 3 bad laps in a row, if I could help it. Had a decent exit on this final turn, whatever number it is, and we're moving to lap 9. Do y'all like where I put the titles? I spent more time than I should have on it. But check this out. This lap, I believe, is more about myself and Dominator trying to catch up to the group in front of us, if I remember right. Or at least I remember myself, again, wanting to chase down this RCF. Because I was so sure that I had better pace. And I'm feeling good, like that. I'm hitting that turn pretty good. I feel like I'm getting the rhythm. I'm locked back in. No flow state, but I'm locked back in to the rhythm S's. And I know I'm gaining ground. Also, I was really enjoying this NSX. I may buy one. I felt like I had a lot of control of it. This X and the older generation NSX I like. Yacht corner, it looks like they were protecting the inside. I probably could have took more speed on the outside, but I'm pretty cautious on corners I'm not confident in. I had no problem letting the RCF ahead because I know it's going to make it back on the chicane, which is what I count on. I count on making it up on the chicane, which I understand in higher elos is not a thing, or I would imagine is not, because people are more consistent when they drive. But the RCF, myself, Dominator, all caught up to Dairy Queen, Corvette, Riley over there. You see a little tussle there that 10 and 11 have? I think Riley took that personally, to be honest with you. Because as we begin lap 10, after the little kink, I don't know if this little slight right-hander counts as a turn, but this left-hander right here, keep an eye on the Corvette. I don't know what kind of line they thought they were taking. That just doesn't seem, you know what I mean? It doesn't seem like a good line. That was just a bad decision. And then we got to see Ghost in effect again. I think the ghosting was okay that time, but you see Dominator and Riley fighting. I think Dominator pushing Riley wide really made them feel a kind of way. Because as you can see in the follow cam, it looks like they're following the driving lane here, but they make a beeline. What I'm assuming is to dive the corner and rely on me to keep them on the inside. But then the ghosting kicked in, they lost traction. Out of sorts. Also, did you see that RCF? Self-inflicted wound. I don't think we'll see them again. So at this point, obviously, the Renault, it's a Renault. The Renault's ahead. Dominator number 8. Coming up on the rhythm section. I had to make up the gap again. Also, let me know if you're interested in having lap times on here. I just feel like at the driver rating I'm at, lap times are important. I don't feel like stressing about lap times will do anything for me. And I'm having fun, not worried about it. So yacht corner, I can't tell if I made up time. But Dominator is busy hunting down the Alpha, and I'm not far behind. Number 10, Ferrari's trying to keep up, but I think our pace is slightly better. I got a pretty good exit, but I was out of sorts. So I didn't get to carry as much speed as I wanted to going out the corner, but I kept myself from spinning out, which I'm proud of. But I was behind the Alpha because I was a little unsettled there. Took the last turn, made up a good amount of time. I was able to allow the Alpha to slow down the Renault here. And we're getting into the final lap. Right here, I'm not challenging Dominator. I'm just waiting for that last section of the track. Dominator phases through the Alpha. I tuck in behind, going through this turn. At this point, I knew that we had faster pace. I was just trying to figure out how we can get around. And I thought the best idea was to stick behind Dominator, seeing as I felt like we had similar pace, and hoping that I could stick along with them, right along the outside to complete the pass, which I do successfully. The Alpha tucks in behind us. Alpha's a little bit all over the place, huh? And now the Alpha is that Ferrari's problem, not mine. I was able to use that rhythm section to pass the Renault, coming over to the final yacht corner turn. I'm sorry for saying that so much. I took that turn so cautiously. I just didn't want to send it into a wall, send it too wide, and just ruin my race. And so I was willing to slow down and concede a position, for the sake of staying in the race. So I had a good chicane. This final straight, I was feeling pretty good. I feel like on this last turn, I went a little too slow. And again, Dominator phases through me. And so I have an issue with the ghosting system along this final straight because of the ghosting. Dominator was able to take it. No complaints though. Dominator, if you ever see this, I had fun. That was a good race. That was probably my favorite race so far. But we got to finish 8th. I started 10th place, so that means we got 2 more positions. Yay me. But yeah, that was the race. That was the most fun I've had so far. But that's it. That was filming. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of this format. I had fun editing it. Maybe I might do this voiceover style more. Anyways, that's it for me. I'll see y'all later. Bye.